Hello, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the little show that I do that I try to kind of make up as I go along. And today is I'm going to be talking about what I would do if I ever won the lottery. At this point, I think tonight the lottery in my state is up up to 970 million, probably over $1 billion. So tonight would be a night to win the lottery. It would be nice. I could do stuff. So this is what I would do if I won the big giant lottery jackpot. Okay, starting off, I would have a little restaurant called the BMX Burger, and it would be a little restaurant where I have food and have a little BMX museum that people could walk through and have all sorts of really cool old restored BMX bikes, from the late 70s to the early to mid 80s, which I believe was when BMX was in its heyday. Yeah, and there's a couple other things I would have in that restaurant. Number one is try to draw a little diagram. You see here, this is where the booth is, and the see this here represents like a little half pipe. And that's where the people sit in the booths. A little table here and a little chair, and this is what it would look like the other way. So you would have the people sitting in the booth, and up here is where the little skid marks are from the tires when they go up and jump and come back in. And it says BMX action on there. See, I would before I built the booths, I would have some people ride these ramps and put tire marks on the ramps. And then we'd clear coat over them and then paint them up with BMX action or other types of BMX decals and make it look all cool like that. So, it could be like kind of like a BMX restaurant. And then also I would have, in that restaurant that I would have like a gift shop where kids could get coloring books, of BMX bikes. And we'd have famous BMX riders from the back in the day. There's that movie called Joe Kid on a Stingray, which had all the evolution of BMX. Have those famous guys come in and meet the kids and sign autographs and maybe do a little ride around. And one of the most famous ones I would want to have would be Mike Buff come in, Perry Kramer also, but also kind of have a little riding area out back where people could ride at their own risk, and sign a waiver, and then, they could ride at their own risk over little dirt jumps or something, or, have a little track back there and some ramps, and, if they bring their own bikes, and that, I would also like to invite a lot of my Facebook friends from my BMX groups, especially from the PK Ripper Appreciation Society, is where there's a lot of guys that I'd like to invite to come to that place. Because I'm a real big fan of the PK Ripper BMX bike. I used to have one back in the day, and I would still wish I had. I could restore a bunch of. I would not only restore just PK Rippers, but I would restore other, BMX from back in the day. So that's that. I hope I didn't leave anything out on that subject, but that's my number one thing that I would do if I hit the lottery. Have a BMX burger restaurant and make it all cool and have, I'm a real big BMX fan. So, okay, the second thing I would want to do is to have an indoor electric go-kart track. So, people could ride out year-round when it's raining or when it's too hot to be air-conditioned, and and there would, it'd be all electric so it wouldn't get all the gas fume on the inside, and it would be a little, winding little track, have little tunnels to go through, and, like a kind of sort of whoop-de-doos you go around, and just, real fun little go-kart track, and, and also there would be the concession stand that would be kind of an extensive, not just 2 or 3 tables. They'd have, an enormous amount of tables for peoples and families to sit at. And they would have 30 different flavors of Slurpee, which is like a kind of like a snow cone drink if you've if you've never had one in the United States, or if your country doesn't have a Slurpee. So it's kind of like a snow cone drink. It's yeah, and they have 30 different flavors of that, and also an extensive nacho bar and hot dogs. And I suppose we have ice cream there too, or something, or milkshakes. Big nice big little concessions area where kids could hang out and their families could hang out and get some food and have fun racing around. And yeah, that's one thing. And a third thing I would like to do is for my house, I would have a customized house built, made to look kind of like the Doctor Who's TARDIS on the show called Doctor Who. He has this little blue police box. And I would have the outside of my house kind of made to look like that. And on the outside of the chimney, I would have a little light fixture around to be kind of like that little flashing light on the top of the TARDIS. And when people come up to my house, either they would trip a sensor, or when they ring the doorbell, it makes that little TARDIS sound when Doctor Who is either landing or taking off in his time machine, and whoosh, 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 that little sound that he makes when you ring the doorbell. And yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have that. And inside the house is in the family room, or the living room, or whatever you call it. You'd have a big TARDIS console in there, and it'd be it'd be moving all the time like that. And and we have all the furniture around and TV and stuff. And then in the dining room, I would also have another sort of console table around the dining room table. It'd be kind of cool to have a not so high that you couldn't see people across the table, but it would have kind of like a little TARDIS console, and then a little thing around it where you could put all your food and plates and whatnot, and you could play with the little TARDIS console while you're eating your dinner, and kind of fun. In the basement of this house, you see the majority of the house I want it to be kind of like a Doctor Who house with Doctor Who memorabilia in the house throughout the whole place. But in the basement, I want to have like a little place where like I have drums, guitar, and bass and microphones set up. Little maybe keyboards too or something, or so people who want to come in and like play and rock, they can come in and like play and if there's just a guy who likes to drum, he can come in and drum, or if you get a bunch of guys together, you could like get in and like play some music, and it would be in the basement area, kind of like a rock and roll basement with a TARDIS underneath the TARDIS house, be kind of my little dream house for when I win the lottery, That's just sort of my ideas about my little house. And the number 4 thing is another thing I'd really like to do is do a lot of work with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish Foundation, if you don't know, is a place where they, get people to donate money, and then the kid who might is either really, really seriously critically ill, or maybe if they, they know they're gonna die here soon, they get to have an extensive last wish. Like whether they get to meet their favorite football team, or they get to go to Disneyland, or they get a trip to Australia to go do something, or whatever the kid wishes. A lot of times it is just I want to go to Disneyland. One time I was reading in my little news magazine from Make-A-Wish that one kid was his dream to meet Eric Estrada. Eric Estrada was an actor who played on the TV show Motorcycle Cop on the TV show called Chips back in the day. So, it was whatever the kid wants. It's cool, and it's not like just the kid gets to go. His extensive family, he gets to invite all his friends and family. Okay, I'm starting to tear up a little bit because I really, when I read my Make-A-Wish letter, it's hard for me to not cry when I'm reading it, because it talks about all the kids that get their wishes, and it's it's kind of an emotional thing for me. That's why I like to donate lots of money to help that. Okay, well that's my little show for today, talking about what the hell I would do if I won the lottery. Okay, a couple more things here to share with you before I go. I always do some crappy sharing about the things that are in my house and that I have collected and stuff. Here's this. What's this? From 1997, People Magazine is People Magazine's opinion of the 50 most beautiful people. Not necessarily my opinion. Not necessarily your opinion. It's People Magazine's opinion. Never let people do your thinking. You do your own thinking for you. But I got this magazine here. Let me see here. There we go. It's because in this 97, Lucy Lawless made the list of people's most 50 beautiful people. And that's why I collected this magazine. And I think there's Garrett Wang, who played Ensign Kim on the Star Trek Voyager. He was on it. I can't remember who. I think Oprah Winfrey's on it too. So, like I said, I got it because Lucy Lawless made the list. And, okay, second little deal here is my box of Bootio's cereal. It's made by the WWE, and these guys are wrestlers that wrestle in the WWE, and they started out with their Bootio's, and then they evolved into throwing pancakes out in the crowd to go on, and I actually had 2 boxes of these. This one I had done 8, and I kept the box. I do have another one that's still wrapped in the plastic, and it's my collector's item, and I'm still saving this one too, but it's a kind of a collector's item. It's even got the little the little unicorn mask, and you cut that piece out and put the horn on the head, and because those wrestlers they're kind of goofy. They always come without unicorn horns on their head. One guy would come out blowing this trombone, and they've been really on, they've been really pushed in the WWE for like 2.5 years. They've been an entertaining entity for the WWE. Because their characters are so far off from what they were originally intended to be. They're called the New Day, and I think it was originally supposed to be some sort of gospel choir, but it turned into just them 3 dudes just being goofy, yeah, it's they're definitely entertaining dudes. They're funny. Okay, there's that. The third thing is here is my American flag guitar strap. I don't think I've made any videos with that guitar, with this guitar strap on. I'm intending to make some more guitar videos if they don't get blocked by YouTube, because I tried to make one about the Beatles and they got blocked because you can't play along with Beatles songs. They block you. It's copyright. Yeah, that's about it. So thanks for tuning in. If you want to like and subscribe and leave a comment, or if you maybe some things I've said inspired you to watch Doctor Who or do something, I don't know. Well, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you subscribing. So thank you very much. We'll see you later.